So again, the format. So the format will be I'll just introduce myself and tell you guys what my campaign is all about and what I'm trying to do, for the people of New Mexico. And then at the very end of this video, I will take a look at the questions you have for me. And if you could, just under the event, there's a discussion tab. If you could just leave your questions and any particular concerns that you have, any questions for me, you can leave them there, and we'll take a look, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. All right. So we got looks like 9 people with us so far. All right. Okay, so I guess we can get started, and hopefully more people join us as we go. But to introduce myself, I'm Jerry Rose. Hey brother. Yeah, you can comment on the live comments too. And if you have any questions, you can post them there too. But it's much easier if you guys just post the questions on the discussion tab. That way I won't have to keep track and scroll back and all that. Anyways, I'm Jerry Rose, and I've been here in New Mexico since 2019. I served in the Army, joined the Army when I was 20 years old and served for 13 years. And after I got out of the Army, it brought me here to New Mexico. And I've been living here in eastern New Mexico in Portales with my family. I have my only wife, Elizabeth, who I married right after I joined the Army. And we have 6 beautiful daughters together. And we have one more child on the way in June. Won't know what the sex is, but we're just waiting for the baby to be born, and we'll see. Crossing my fingers for a boy, you know. Girls are lovely, and I thank God for all my children. But, you know, I do, I'm not going to lie, I do wish for a boy. Just one. So, yeah, so why am I running, and what is this campaign about? Basically, I'll tell you this. The most simple answer I can give you is because the evil is becoming insufferable. And what evil is that? The evil is that in a nation where we are supposed to have a representative form of government, the people, no matter who they elect, they keep electing 2 parties, Democrat, Republican. And no matter who they elect, it's the same old story. They promise you everything under the sun. But when it comes down to it, when the rubber meets the road, and they're passing these laws, or not passing certain laws, or not repealing certain laws that the people want, when it comes down to it, what happens every time? The people's wishes are not met. Why? Because they don't represent the people. We keep electing these major party candidates into office. And ultimately, their records show that they don't serve the people that elected them. They serve the big money interests and the donors of their political parties. And this is the main problem that my campaign seeks to fix. Because we are supposed to have a government that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. And that's not what I'm seeing today. And just going back to my history a little bit, back when I was serving in the U.S. Army, that's when I became passionate about politics, particularly when I saw Ron Paul run for office. You know, it was his ideals of constitutionalism and the protection of our individual liberty that really attracted me to his campaign. But what I saw was, since he he was a very anti-establishment candidate. And what I mean by that is he wasn't the status quo. And he wasn't the status quo. And what happened to him? The Republican Party railroaded him, you know? And the news media, they kept on, you know, not outright, but indirectly, through their techniques, through their propaganda techniques, ensured that Mitt Romney won the election, won the primary. And Mitt Romney was just like Obama. There was no difference. And you know what? I realized something. That's exactly what the wealthy and powerful want. They don't want you to have a choice. They don't want you to have a real choice. Hey, welcome, Lawrence. Hello from Seattle. Hey, welcome to the live stream. So, this issue of representation, particularly in our Congress and our legislators, even at the state level, has been completely taken over by special interests, by the wealthy, by those with power and influence, cutting you out of the process. And you know what? Every single legislator, their only lobbyist should be who? Should be the people. Should be the ones who elected them. However, is that the case? Look down deep in your heart and you tell me the truth. Do you believe that that is the case today? Think about it. Every single time I see a politician run for office, what do? They promise you to protect you from the other side who is trying to take away your rights. And this is the same for both sides. You know, you have the Democrat voters. Do you really believe that the Democrat voters vote Democrat because they believe in everything that their party stands for? Or are they more voting in fear of what they think the Republican politician and the Republican side, you know, is? They vote out of fear, right? And this continually perpetuates a problem. And the problem is, who is paying? Okay, Miss Sanders says, who is paying for your campaign? How do we know you are not the same? Well, you can come and meet me in person. I'm right here in Portales. And I'm just a regular person. I'm running as an independent. So who is paying for my campaign? Right now, just me. And I am taking $5 donations from just average people like you. So, yeah, Mr. Roguski, he asked a good question, right? When is the last time your senator asked you for your opinion on anything? They don't ask you for your opinion because they don't care about your opinion, right? Yeah, they don't care about what you have to say. They listen to those who keep them in office. They listen to those who have the money, right? As Janet Sanders is pointing to. They listen to those who donate millions of dollars to their political PACs, to their parties, and to their campaigns. They are the ones that have their ear. Why? Well, because it's the same old story. They pass these laws that strengthen these monopolies out there, right? These corporations. And then after we see these politicians leave office, who do they go to work for? The very same lobbyists who put them in office and who supported their campaigns, who have control of mainstream media and big tech, right? These are the people. These are the people who are running these candidates. And, you know, on the surface, it's great, right? You might really believe in the Democrat platform, or you might really believe in the Republican platform. But ultimately, does it really matter? Think about this. Particularly my fellow New Mexicans, okay? And those who keep voting the same way. If you're really happy with the way things are right now, then okay, just keep voting the same way you've been. But if you're not, then I encourage you to do something different next time. And what is that? Stop voting party line. This is destroying our nation. Because these propagandists are lying to you. They're lying to us. And you know what? I've been a victim of that very same manipulation. But when I look at it, every time Democrats are in office, what happens? Our debt goes up. My rights are being taken away, little by little. Every time Republicans are in office, what happens? Same thing. Our debt keeps going up, and my rights keep getting taken away, little by little. This is my concern. This is my concern. Now, this is my plan. And this is what I'm promising to you, good people of New Mexico. If you go to my Facebook page, right, or you go to my campaign website, I have 5 pledges there, okay? My first pledge, my first promise to you is that I'm not running to represent myself. Now, I will stand on my beliefs, right? I will be honest with you. I'm not here to lie to you or hide who I am and what I believe. But ultimately, this campaign is about one thing: giving you, the people, the power over the lawmaking process once again, because you do not have that right now. This is your right. We have a Republican form of government, which means the sovereignty of this nation rests with the people, not with an elite few. We are not subjects, my fellow New Mexicans. My fellow Americans, we are not subjects. We are citizens, which means we have certain inalienable rights. And we instituted this form of government that we have today. It says, we the people of the United States, right? What does that mean? Well, since we instituted this government, if the people so choose, it is in their power to form another government, if they so choose. Now, would that be wise? I wouldn't think so. But what I'm trying to illustrate to you is the power that the people have. The people have the sovereign power in this nation, okay? But what is it now? If you find something and you find a piece of legislation, what are we told to do? Hey, call up your senator, call up your representative and beg them, hopefully they'll listen to you. I'm not about that. No way. You know what? They should be doing the job of, one, communicating to the people about every single bill that comes before the Senate or the House, okay? This is at the federal level and the state level. This should happen at all levels. They should tell you about what's in this bill. Honestly. Now, they might have their opinion of why this bill is great or why it's not. But do they even take the time to explain to you these things? And think about this. Is it impossible for them to do? No way. Look, I'm just a regular Joe Schmo. And here I am communicating to you over the web. You telling me a senator who gets $3 to $6 million a year to help them in their representative duties. You're telling me they can't take the time and that they don't have the ability to break down this bill for you with their team of lawyers who write all their legislation for them? You're telling me that they can't take the time to say, hey, HR 1, this is what it's going to do. This is why I like it. This is why I don't. They can't take the time to do that for you, huh? They can. It's just that they don't want to. They don't want to. That's why they write 700 plus pages of nonsense. And, all they'll tell you about it is, oh, this is so great because of blah, blah, blah. One paragraph. Is a one paragraph comment on Facebook or a one paragraph comment on the campaign website or a 30-minute interview on the news, is that going to inform you of what is really in this bill and the implications of this proposed legislation? I don't think so. They need to do better. And they can do better. There is no excuse, especially for the senators. Okay? The senators, I'm telling you again, this one fact just really boils my blood. They get $3 to $6 million a year to do their duties. Do you feel like you're getting $3 to $6 million a year worth of representation from your senator? Honestly. Do you believe that? I don't. And I'm sick and tired of this. And you know, it just came to a head last year when I saw this whole COVID thing happen. You know, did anybody ask the people, hey, what should we do about this? Do you guys want to lock everything down? Or do you want to keep everything open? No, nobody asked the people, right? What happened? One person, our governor, and the governors of the states, they made the decision for you, as if you are one of their subjects. Listen, people, we are not electing kings and queens here. We are not electing people to rule over us. We are electing people to serve us. This is what the American people need to wake up to again. And this is what my campaign is about. I promise you, every single piece of legislation, I will take the time via live stream, broadcasts, right? I will tell you what's in the bill. And I will give you my opinion and advise you, okay? But I will ensure to lay out the facts for you. And it's not only going to be me, right? Because I'm only one person and I'm biased and I'm going to miss things. I'm going to have a team, a council, okay? And it's a council of all different perspectives. And what we'll do is every single time a piece of legislation comes up before the U.S. Senate for consideration, you will be able to see an open and honest debate between differing viewpoints. Why? So the people can make an informed decision for themselves. People, you need to decide for yourself what is in your own best interest. And I tell you this, if you keep on listening to mainstream media and the propaganda of the political parties, both of them, you're never going to be well informed. You need a good debate. You need to get outside of the noise of political campaigning, because that's all they're doing. They're perennially campaigning. That's all they're interested in, is staying in power and serving the interests of a few. They have left and forgotten the average American citizen. And it's such a shame today that I hear some people question me and ask me, well, what qualifies you for the U.S. Senate? Well, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what qualifies me, okay? It's because I can vote for that office. If you don't qualify for that office, if you don't think you qualify to do this simple job of representing the people of your state or your district, then don't vote for that office. But I'm telling you, you as an American citizen, all of us, any of us, should look at ourselves and understand that yes, it does come down to you. Because the power is with you, not with politicians. Politicians are just simply, they're supposed to be one of us who has volunteered to take this position to represent the people. Okay? But how do they do it? They say, oh, I'm so bright, I'm so special, I have all the answers. So vote for me, trust me to do what's best for you. As basically, they're running like they're self-anointed messiahs here, as if they're your savior or something. Listen, no one person is going to save us from the mess we're in. All right? It's going to take a movement of the people. It's going to take a movement of the people. So my first pledge is, one, I'm going to communicate to you on every single bill, on every single piece of legislation. All right. Number two, I'm going to listen to you. And what I'm going to do with this SOPOEA, this $3 to $6 million a year, what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to build a system where I can actually poll all the registered voters of New Mexico and get their mandate to listen to the people. All right. Every single time something comes before the U.S. Senate, I will break it down for you. I'll give you opportunity to participate in a legislative survey. Tell me what you believe is in your best interest. And number 3, I'm going to represent you. I'm going to follow through with your mandate so that you know, listen, I'm not serving anybody except for you as your senator, as your legislator. Okay? So that is the push of my campaign. All right? And I can break it down for you in more detail if you wish, but we have some questions here that we should go ahead and answer. All right, let's see. So Brent Olson, hey, welcome Brent Olson to the live stream. I'm glad you're with us. So he I don't know, he or she asked. Got a little dog here. That's a cute dog. All right. So they ask, have you held office before? Have you worked a campaign before? How will you get information to me? What will be different in reading 700-page bills that are being jammed through? Okay, so have I held office before? No. I've only served in the Army. All right, as far as government service. Served in the executive branch. But no, I've never held an office as a legislator or anything, elected office, no. Have you worked a campaign before? No, I've not. This is the very first one. Listen, I'm just an average American citizen, just like you, okay? A concerned citizen with an idea. With an idea that we're supposed to have a representative form of government. I think that's very simple. How will you get information to me? Again, with that SOPOEA, right? $3 to $6 million a year. I'm going to set up what is called the hashtag Rep the People system, and I have an outline of that, which I will, and it's on my Facebook page and on my campaign website. If you go to www.jerryroseforussenate.com/Rep the People, you will see a YouTube video there. It's about 45 minutes long, okay? And it goes into detail about exactly what kind of system this is going to be. And every senator, right? Every senator gets an official government webpage. Now, on that government webpage, it's so simple for them to just post up a video, right? Post up a video, post a briefing. Hey, HR whatever, or SV whatever. We're going to be discussing that. This is what it's supposed to be about. We've read it. Our team. This is what's in it. These are the implications. And then easy access so that you can be informed. So that you don't have to go to CNN or Fox News and listen to the media report on it in their own biased ways, because they're not covering the whole thing, right? They're only covering it. It's all just propaganda, again. So, what will be different in reading 700-page bills that are being jammed through? So I'm not really clear on that question. Let me read it again. What will be different in reading 700-page bills? Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what is different. What is different is I'm not leaving it to you, busy working Americans who are not lawyers, right? Most of us are not lawyers. Listen, I have a 40-hour-a-week job, right? I have a day job. I have a family here, and I got a house to take care of, bills to pay. You think I got the time right now as an average citizen? Do you think you have the time right now to rummage through 700, 1,000 page bills? No, you don't. And if you did, will your representative or senator even care about what your opinion is? You can say, well, I hope they do. Ultimately, they don't. And you know what? When you call into the office of your senator, do you even know how many people are actually petitioning the same thing you are? You don't, do you? I mean, maybe you do through another system, but don't you find it funny that your senator doesn't even publish that information publicly? Maybe it's because they don't want you to know how many people are on the same page with you. Maybe they want you to feel like you're in the minority, especially if it's something they don't support. But I'll tell you what, they'll let you know how many people called in if it's something that they already agree with, right? Because they're there not representing you, they're there representing themselves, as if they're little kings and queens who can determine what's best for you. All right, next question from Jim. He asks, what is your opinion of term limits? Well, if the people want term limits, I'm all for it. And you know what? I am for term limits, actually. I was a volunteer for the Article 5 Convention of States movement here in New Mexico as a district captain, up until I decided to announce my run for U.S. Senate. So, yeah, big fan of term limits, and that's one of my pledges too. If you look at my 5 pledges, I pledge to you to do no more than 2 terms. But you know, I really hope that I only have to do 1 term, because the goal of this is not just for me holding an office, a political office, has nothing to do with this campaign. What this campaign is about is restoring a truly representative form of government in our nation. So what I want to do, and my vision, is to set the example for the whole nation, for all our members of Congress. Imagine this. Imagine if you had a true representative on the floor debating a certain bill, saying something like, you know, I tried to persuade the people and I advised my constituents that this was not a good idea, but they told me, and they gave me a clear mandate that this is what they want, right? So my vote is going to be with the people. Imagine if that actually happened. Have you ever seen that happen? No. Because they don't represent you. They don't care what you have to say. Have you ever gotten a phone call from your representative or senator asking you, hey, what do you think? No. What they do is they call you and say, hey, you got to support our party. You know, this is our party. Donate and call up your other ones and force them to comply with what our party, what I think. They don't care about, they don't ask you, hey, what do you think? What do the people say? Because again, they're not there to represent you. But even if we don't get term limits, good people, listen, you know what the greatest term limit is? The people. Just stop electing these same old politicians, and stop electing candidates for a party that has continually failed for the last 100 years here. New Mexico for the last 100 years has only been ruled by one party. And we have a Republican Party here who keeps promising you, oh, we're going to change it, we're going to change it. Well, you know what? I think after 100 years, I think it's time to change our strategy a little bit. So, I'm running as an independent, okay? And my platform is just about one thing in particular. To represent you. To represent you and your interests. Alright, let's go down. Janice Sanders says, what do you think about the border? Gun control, immigration term limits, why not run for governor? Okay, I will work front to back on those, okay? Those are good questions. Why am I not running for governor? Because I do not qualify for governor. You have to be a resident of New Mexico for 5 continual years to qualify to run for governor. But there is a very good man named Stephen Garrett. He runs the Facebook page, I Will Not Comply New Mexico. If you click on my my Facebook page there, you'll see I share some of his videos. And he announced his intention to run for governor. And he's been a very big activist against her unconstitutional abuse of power. And he's been a very strong advocate for our First Amendment rights. Stephen Garrett. Because again, after 13 years, most of my life, right, I would say almost all of my adult life, I was serving in the Army. So I've lived in many places. And after the Army, I've made New Mexico my home. Term limits. Oh, I think I already... Okay, I apologize for that, but term limits, I think I already answered that previously. Immigration and the border. So these issues are an issue of national security. So here's the thing. We got to look at our nation and our states as if they're our own house, okay? So I'm not concerned with keeping tabs on where my own family members are in my house, right? But if I had strangers over, would I just let them go into my bedroom and start rummaging through my things, you know? Would I give them free access to all the to all the rooms in the house, you know, our personal bedrooms and stuff? No. Why? Because I don't know them. They're strangers to me. And that's not saying that they shouldn't be there, but that's saying that if they are there, we need to know where they are. We need to know where they are, and we need to keep a database and keep track of foreigners in our land. I mean, I think that's pretty much common sense, isn't it? I think it's common sense. Alright, gun control. Any and all gun control is illegal, according to the Second Amendment. That's what I believe. Alright, next question. Thank you for your service in our military. I also like that you're not a politician. Excellent. Excellent. Alright, let's see. Oh, okay. So, Cousin Vinny Hadlock, he says, I am ready to help. We need to start up some real assemblies in each city that use tech to take back our state. Hey, that's awesome. Email me, Cousin Vinny Hadlock. You can email me at jerry@jerryroseforussenate.com, and I will be glad to see what we can work on together. All right, let's see. Lawrence B. said, done with the duopoly. Voters and those with the desire to stand up for America by running, start here. www.independentcongress.com. Yes, I am very familiar with the webmaster of that one. And good friends with him. What is your view on retirement pay for legislators? It should be done away with. That's my opinion. And you know what? I think if we ask the people, I think they would agree. Vote them all out. Indeed, vote them out. Okay. Excellent comments. All right. Are you an America First type candidate? Of course. You know, we need to take care of America first, right? We're American citizens. You have to have your own house in order before you can help anybody else. Dominion voting machines will make sure only Democrats are elected. We have to get these out of New Mexico. I agree. You know, I'm all for, I'm an advocate of paper ballots marked by hand and hand counted. No more tabulators, hand count them. Yes, it's going to take more time, it's going to take more money or more volunteers, but is it worth it? You bet you. It is worth it. Our elections are that important. All right. Are you a native New Mexican? No, I'm not. I was actually, when my dad was in the Army, while he was in training, I was born in, shame to say it, Fort Ord, California. But I hope you don't hold that against me. I'm not a Californian. I've lived in many states growing up, so I would say I'm not a native, really, of any particular state, but I am a son of the Union, I guess. I'm a Native American, indeed. Why did you leave the Army prior to retirement? Well, ultimately because I'm a lover of freedom, and I don't know. After so much time, after 13 years, I didn't get out because of any disability or anything. I just I wasn't serving in the military for a retirement paycheck. That wasn't my goal. And I was at such a place where I could leave the military and, do okay for myself and my family. So I decided to leave because because I had seen many times in the Army, well, in the military in general, where you have military folks who are just serving that last term just to get to 20 years. And their performance was just lackluster, to be kind. Why? Because they weren't really passionate, and you could tell they really didn't want to be there, and they weren't motivated. They didn't have that same fire in them as you see younger soldiers, Marines and sailors and airmen have. So I didn't want to become that. So I decided to leave because, really appreciate our military, because what they have done essentially is give up some of the liberty that you enjoy as an American citizen. When you're in the military, you can't just up and leave. You can't just up and quit and move to another city or state, right? And that was the one reason why I didn't want to join when I was younger. I had sworn up and down. I was like, I will never do it. But I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the subliminal messaging in the Marine Corps advertisements or something. But one day I was just sitting on the couch tonight watching TV, and man, the Marine Corps, they really have excellent advertisements. But I was watching it, and then something just, I don't know, impressed me, and I just asked myself, I was like, Jerry, you're a 20-year-old able-bodied young man. If this nation can't count on young men like you, young men and women like you, to defend our nation, who can it count on? And so I answered that call, right? And how did it draw out to 13 years? Well, the Army throws a lot of money at you for certain jobs it really needs to fill, and I got myself into a lot of debt when I got married. I had nothing, and I had to borrow to get the things that were needful for my house and my wife, furniture and basic things like that. So I didn't really want to leave the Army just yet at certain points, because most of you, I think, would know this. But for those who don't know, in the Army, in the military, you have terms, right? Certain contracts. So you have an initial contract for a certain amount of time. And then at the end of it, you have the option to renew it, re-enlist, or keep going, or just leave when you fulfill your contract. So when it came time to re-enlist, the Army just threw that money in my face, and I was like, well, it's a good bonus. It'll help me pay off my bills so that I could leave, and get out and not have to worry about a mountain of debt. And so that's what I did, and eventually got to 13 years, and after 13 years, I was like, I'm ready to leave. All right. Good question, though, Brent Olson. Thank you for that. Brett Levitt says, how will you represent the people when everyone has different values and beliefs? If you ask the people for their opinion and feedback on bills and legislation, and that feedback is split, divided, how will you handle that? Well, if the split and the divide... Okay. So this is, again, is in that video that I told you about earlier, but I will explain it to you a little bit here. So I'm not going to explain the technological part of it all, but basically, you will only cast one poll, or one vote in the poll, okay, in these legislative surveys. Say HR1, okay, it comes up before the people for their consideration. Everybody will only do it once, but you will also be categorized into your districts, okay? In New Mexico, and it's going to be according to state districts, state house districts. We have 70 of them, okay? So that one vote that you put in, it will be reflected in two ways. The first way is just a simple majority statewide, okay? So if it's 52% or more, then you have the determination of the simple majority. If it's within 1%, then I will make the final decision as a senator, okay? Now, that one vote goes towards that one, which is 1-for-1 against everybody in the state. But there's also the other reflection, which is a representative majority, okay? Which is a 1-for-1 vote by district. And each district's vote will be determined by the popular vote within that district. And should it be tied 35-35, again, I would make the final decision. But so you have these two reflections of the people's opinion. One is the simple majority and one is the representative majority by state house district. If the two align, then my mandate is clear. If the two contradict, okay, and that is when we go into a 3-day review. And the 3-day review is all about this. We open the poll again, and we have a debate. You know, the council publishes another video, refine our arguments, and what happens is that poll is opened again for 2 days. We try to persuade the people, present I'm talking about that council of 5 I'm talking about, which would include myself. We will try to persuade the people again to our way of thinking, to our opinion, and we'll let the people reconsider again. And then on the 3rd day, after the polls close at the end of the 2nd day, and then on the 3rd day, I would vote. I'm sorry, lost my train of thought. Let me get it back in a second. Let me take a sip of water. Okay, so after that 3-day review, the difference in that poll when it's reset from the original one is going to be representative, okay? Each district will have one vote again. But the difference between that and the one before is it's just one vote, representative majority, but as the senator, I will have a weighted vote of 7 votes, which would be 10% of the district votes. And tallying up all that, at the end of it, then my mandate is clear. But this is only in the case when that initial poll, of the simple majority and the representative majority conflict. That's when that happens. Again, the details of all this is in that video. Thank you for sharing that, Jim. Thank you for sharing the video. Yeah, it's go to Jerry Rose for ussenate.com/rep the people, and you'll see the video there too. And it breaks this all down in details if you're interested. But it's a 45-minute presentation. All right. So let's keep on going here. Yes, my home received ballots and never asked for them. Also, mine and my daughter's history say we voted in 2018. We did not. It needs fixing. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I think California is actually more red than blue. You're probably right. Maybe. Who knows? Okay, let's see. Jim Cochran says 20 years and 3 different careers in the military. All right, thank you, sir. Thank you for your service. What do you think about the woke culture in our school systems? Well, culture is culture. But in my opinion, our children in the United States have been done a great disservice in the public education system. Children are not taught American civics as they ought to be. They are not taught the foundational principles of our Constitution, and at the end of high school, these children come out thinking that they are subjects to the government. And I think that is one of the main problems. But in academia, we do see that there is an agenda there, I believe, my personal opinion. I call it the public indoctrination system. And this is why I fundamentally disagree with forced education, with mandated education and government education. But I can understand the side that would support that. But if we're going to have that, I would say, yeah, there are standards that need to be set for our education system, as far as with a particular focus on American history and our Constitution and the principles of federalism and what a republic is and how there are certain elements of democracy that are important, what a representative form of government is, and so forth. Our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, what our inherent rights are as just human beings, yeah, we definitely need reform there, in my opinion. But I'm a strong advocate for homeschooling and for private school. We are actually homeschooling our children because I refuse to let them go get indoctrinated by the public education system. Anyway, so Maddie Matt, he asks, I don't know if you talked about it, but where do you stand on abortion? Okay, so here's my view on abortion. All right. I believe life begins at conception. So I believe that as soon as that baby is conceived in the womb, it is an individual with the right to life. And the only exception I would make would be if a woman really believes, or a doctor really believes, that the woman's life is in danger. Then I wouldn't equate it to murder. But this is my personal belief about this, okay? But I would say regarding abortion, the ideal for me is not making abortion illegal. The ideal for me is to make abortion non-existent. And there's a difference. Because think about murder. We have laws against murder, but does murder still happen? Yes. Okay? Now, we have to look at the reasons why abortion happens. Now, we could believe, and I think some do, but I have a different opinion about it. Some people think that those who are pro-choice are all about the convenience of abortion. Like, they really do want to kill babies. I don't believe that. I don't think they take any joy. I don't think any woman who has done this took any joy in doing it. Now, you have some crazy celebrities and really fringe people who have loud voices in media who want to try to say otherwise, but I don't believe them. I really don't. I think in their heart of hearts, they really do regret it in the end. Now, what I would like to see is advancement in medical research so that this hypothetical situation, but it's not really hypothetical. This is real sometimes, where a woman is told, oh, you know, it's either you or the baby, you know, like you're probably going to die if you try to deliver this child. I want to see that go away. And I think we can fund medical research with a focus on that particular problem, the dangers of pregnancy and delivery. I think America has always been brilliant and always at the leading edge of technology. So I think the government, I would propose and I would try to persuade the people to this idea of we should probably fund more, give more funding to that type of research. And on the other end, as far as abortion goes, I think there is a real solution to it that doesn't have to be legal, right? We always try to turn to the government to solve all our problems, but a lot of times these problems can be solved in the private sector just through the charity of Americans. Here's what I say. What if you meet someone, right, who is thinking about an abortion, a young lady, maybe she got pregnant at 14, okay? Now, in her mind, she believes that her life is ruined if she has this baby, okay? I'm not going to judge her for her beliefs or however she thinks. However, I would offer and I would encourage, for those of you who truly are pro-life, who want to save lives, I would encourage you to maybe volunteer. Say, hey, I'll take care of your child. I'll adopt it. And you know what I would do? I would go even one step further. And I would say, not only will I can adopt your child, or I could just foster your child. And if you change your mind, your child will be right here, in safe hands. And I think there needs to be a lot of attention paid to the red tape of adoption and the expenses associated with adoption and fostering children. I think, we need to make that system more efficient and easier for people. And I think this would go a long way into reducing abortions in our nation. And that's my goal. My goal is to reduce abortion. And will making it illegal do that? Yeah, I think so. But does it need to be illegal for it to be accomplished? I think that maybe not. Maybe not. But again, remember my campaign. I'm here to represent the people of New Mexico, right? So if you are a passionate pro-life activist, I would say don't focus on petitioning your politician. Number one, that is beneath you. Number two, it's ineffective. Petition the people. You got to talk to people. Both sides, however you want to describe it. But people of all political persuasions need to come together and have a conversation. This is one of the biggest problems our nation faces today, is that we are so divided by propaganda. We don't see ourselves as firstly Americans anymore. We see ourselves as leftists or right-wing or constitutionalists or libertarians. Listen. We're Americans. We're brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, neighbors. We ought to be able to hate different opinions, different ideas. Yeah, I can hate an idea, but do I have to hate the one that holds that idea? No, I don't have to do that. And it's with that attitude that we must approach these things. It's the people that need to be persuaded, not the government, not the big money behind the both parties. You know what? The status quo, whoever it's benefiting, they're not going to be persuaded. They're not. They're not going to have their minds changed. But people do change their minds. And I've seen it. So Matty Matt, he says, how about where you stand on gun control? Any and all gun control is illegal, constitutionally. Then he asks, or how are you going to stand up for the farmers? Hey, that's a good question. Are you a farmer, Matty Matt? If you are a farmer, please tell me how I can stand up for you. I'm not a farmer. I don't know the issues that farmers face. So if you are a farmer, please email me or call me. Tell me what you think the federal government can do for you. All right? Again, I'm not coming at you with all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I'm just one man. I have my own opinions and I don't know everything about everything. I'm coming to you to ask you for the answers. So, farmers out there, tell me, what are the issues you face in New Mexico? What can the government do for you? And as your representative in the U.S. Senate, that's exactly what I will do. All right, let's see. Did he talk about COVID? Yeah, well, I focused on the restrictions. Again, this is my personal opinion, but I call for the impeachment of all governors who violated the Constitution, violated our First Amendment rights, regardless of party label, whoever they are, because Republican governors did the same thing, and they tread on us. You know what? You tread on the people, you need to be impeached. So, again, who's going to impeach them? Your state legislators, right? But again, do your state legislators represent your interests? One side says, well, too bad, the other party has control. And then the other party, they just don't care what you have to say. So, this is why my system will remedy that too. Because listen, it's not only going to be for federal issues. I'm going to use that $3 to $6 million a year. Again, $3 to $6 million a year. It just keeps blowing my mind every time I say it. But build this system not only for federal legislators, but for your state legislators too. Okay? And every single state issue will also have a poll that you could participate in. And then once we get those results, if your state legislators still refuse, we can show them, hey, listen, 80% of the people in your district hate this, and you're still voting for it. Why? Right? It's about holding our government servants accountable to the people who elect them. How about Christian values? I love the Lord Jesus. I'm not ashamed to say it. I love the Lord Jesus Christ. Big Pharma. Yeah, that's a big problem too, isn't it? Big Pharma. I am for the legalization. Now, I might be kind of extreme in this stance, but again, I remind you, I'm not running to represent myself. I'm running to represent you. But in my opinion, we should legalize all drugs, any substance. And I think the only reason drug laws are in place is because of Big Pharma. See, they don't want you to be able to take care of yourself with whatever substance you think you need. No, you have to go to a doctor, government-approved doctor, and they will tell you what you need. Again, it's all about taking power away from you, the individual. They voted Republican 24 times versus Democrat only 8 times. Okay, I don't know what that's in reference to. Any more questions? Let's see. All right. Oh, Stephen Garrett. There's the man running for governor right there. Hey, welcome, Stephen. Hey, listen, man, once this, I think we're about done here, but you can go back and rewind it and just go ahead and take a look for yourself. I think we've been going for an hour here. So, thank you all for taking the time to see my campaign and what it's all about. And it's a grassroots movement. All right? It's a grassroots movement, and any grassroots movement starts with the people. You are not the little people, okay? You are the highest power in this land after God. That's the truth. You know, you are even above the Constitution because it is in your power to amend that Constitution or to shred it to pieces and make another Constitution. Do you realize this? Americans, we need to wake up and understand this again. And I'm just asking for your help, you know. I'm an independent. I don't have the funding of big money. Is it too late to recall MLG? I think Stephen will have the answer to that. I don't know, Stephen. I think you told me constitutionally, according to the New Mexico Constitution, can we recall the governor? I forget what your answer to that was. MLG is Michelle Lujan Grisham. She is the governor of New Mexico. So, again, if you would like to know more about my campaign, please go to www.jerryroseforusenate.com. And if you share this vision with me of returning our Congress back to the people, and listen, if you're concerned about election integrity too, this will do a great deal towards election integrity also. But why? Think about it. If a senator actually, they should have done this in the last election and just made it completely transparent. All the senators had to do was take that money that they're using to perennially campaign and set up a polling system and ask the people of their state, hey, who did you vote for? Now, the ones who voted for Biden may not even participate. It's okay. But at least you would have all the real numbers of who actually voted for Trump. Take those numbers, compare it to the state's results. Right? And if you see a great variance there, have them all sign an affidavit saying, hey, I voted for Trump. And say the state results said, oh, you only had 60,000 vote for him in this district. But in actuality, when you polled them, you find, oh no, actually 150,000 voted for him. Okay, then you take that 150,000, have them all submit a sworn affidavit and bring a class action lawsuit where the courts cannot use their ridiculous legalese tricks to say they don't have standing or latches rules, whatever ridiculous nonsense. That all goes out the window because the complaints, the plaintiffs would be the voters themselves. All right, and they would have standing. So that's what I would do for every single election. If there was any controversy, I would just throw up that poll. Ask you, the registered voters, hey, let's do an audit. You guys think that, your vote was stolen from you? So tell me, did you vote for president or for whatever candidate? Did you vote for them? You say yes. Okay, then we look at the results, compare it against the state results. They don't match. All right, then I would ask you, well, let's do something about this. We got to come out into the open. Make your sworn affidavit. We'll collect it, and we will bring the lawsuit. Okay? That's exactly how it would be. So anyway, just wanted to get that out there too and relay that to you folks. Again, it's an honor and a privilege to meet you, and I hope that we can work together to restore this nation back to its constitutional principles. This is the ultimate goal. There are many different strategies out there for how to get there. This is my strategy. My strategy comes from a quote from Thomas Jefferson, who said, he said it something like this. I can't quote it word for word, but basically he relayed this simple principle. that the ultimate powers of society, the safest repository of the ultimate powers of society, ought to be with the people themselves. And should the people ever, not exercise that power in a good and moral way or wisely, the solution is not to take the power away from the people. The solution is to inform the people through education, through persuasion, through advising them. And this is what I seek to do. Listen, why would they go to CNN for an opinion about whatever issue or bill when they have a senator here who is showing them that he is their true servant? Right? If you could show the people that, hey, I do care about you. I don't care about money. Hey, I'm comfortable. I have a great job, and I thank God for my circumstance in life right now. And I tell you what, I would never even have thought about running for Senate. But they pushed me too far. Honestly, they pushed me too far. I've had enough. And if you've had enough, just donate $5, please, to my campaign and share the word. Anything. I need to get this message out to the people of New Mexico of, hey, I'm not here to serve anybody else except for you. And I've outlined exactly how I'm going to do it. And you know what? I will even change how I'm going to do it if you tell me to. Because this is not my campaign. This is your campaign. I hope you understand that. How do we donate? So here, I'll put it in the chat here. So you just go to www.jerryroseforussenate.com/donate. You can donate any amount you wish, but really, I'm only asking for $5. $5. Because the thing about it is, ideas are more powerful than money. You cannot stop an idea. And this system of congressional representation is an idea. And I believe in the power of it. And they cannot stop it. And I will not stop or rest. If you think this is just about this one run in 2024, it's not. I will keep running. And I will keep focusing on the office of the senator. And the particular reason why senator is the particular office that I'm focused on is because of the money. $3 to $6 million a year. And what that will do, it will hold all our legislators in New Mexico accountable to the people's opinion, to the people's interest. They will have no excuse. It will be public information. Hey, HR 1938. 60% of the people in your district said yes, and you voted no. I wonder why. See, this needs to be clear. And it's about education. It's about informing the people. I want to empower the people. I want to educate the people and inform the people. And then represent the people. That's what our legislators should do. Right? I mean, right? If you agree with that, then please visit my campaign website. You can donate, make a donation, volunteer. I need volunteers, Right now, it's pretty much me. I've had a few people reach out, but ultimately I'm gonna need people in, Albuquerque, Las Cruces, Roswell, Santa Fe. Need to build campaign operations in those areas too. Can't be everywhere at once, right? So I'm working with limited funds and limited resources. But if the people can awake and rise up and come together and do their civic duty of not just voting, right, but of actually doing good in the community, investing time and energy into the good of our nation, America will truly be blessed. And, all right, I said enough, I think, for now. And I think in the future, I will probably plan to do one of these town hall meetings maybe at least twice a month. I have a newsletter you can subscribe to on my website, and that's a bi-weekly newsletter. But you could also, and so what I will plan to do is pretty much offset that. So every single week I will either be publishing a newsletter or be doing one of these live town halls. In any case, thank you again for taking the time. And God bless the United States. God bless New Mexico. And God bless you. And I'll see you around.